I got it.
Really?
An unventilated area where no air circulates.
That's it?
That's what it says.
So yeah, what else? They don't tell me nothing. They just telling me that someone doesn't want you to know what's up, so they put that in there.
A part of the structure having some specific characteristic or function.
Damn, they really don't want you to know what's up. All right, they want you to dig for it. All right, so dead airspace, again, I'll tell you, dead airspace, and then you can tell me back, dead airspace is the air that does not reach the alveoli, so it's the air that we don't use in the body. So what is dead airspace?
The air that don't reach the alveoli.
That's enough. That by itself is good enough. Cool. All right, questions? Nope. All right, cool. All right, the dysfunction. So these are some issues that will cause you to not breathe. Let's see, respiratory system dysfunction, disruption. Yeah, you can go outside, bro. It's kind of like annoying, like a little kid. I can't stand that. Like I'm trying to be nice and like not, but since you bring it up, it is like really annoying. You can go outside, like bro, like both of you gonna be laughing, like it's cool. Like I don't care, but like it's kind of annoying. I appreciate it. Thank you. All right. So some things that will affect your actual breathing. So this is gonna breathe your breathing control center. So your breathing control center comes from your brain, your medulla oblongata. It's like down here in your stem, in the bottom, and it's almost kind of part of the rat brain because it just controls basic functions. Like it's the function you need to just survive and walk around like a zombie. But it ain't gonna be. It's not where your thinking comes from. It's just where like your normal basic survival things come from. All right. So because it's in your brain, the medulla oblongata is in your brain, any one of these will affect it. So a stroke, if you have a stroke in your head, and blood's not getting to the medulla oblongata, then the medulla ain't gonna function, right? Because you have a blockage, all right? Another one, brain tumor. A brain tumor, if it's growing, and it's growing by the medulla, and there's being pressure against the medulla, is it gonna function right? No. What if a big old person came in here and pushed you against the wall? Are you gonna function right? No, you're gonna be like, oh, it hurts. And then if it's enough, you're probably gonna scream and die, right? So a tumor by the medulla oblongata is exactly like that happening to a human being. It's gonna act up. So that's gonna affect your respirations because the medulla is the control center for the respirations, right? So that's one thing that will affect it. An infection, any infection will affect anybody. If you get a big infection, it'll actually give you a fever. It'll be a system thing, all right? So any infection period in the blood will affect you some way, somehow, regardless of where it's at. Whether it's localized or it's systemic. Whether if it's a localized infection in the brain for some weird reason, that's gonna affect the medulla because it's right by the medulla, right? And then, yeah, it's up to next one. So toxins and drugs. What toxins and drugs can do, depending on what kind of drug it is, you have what's called the RAS, reticular activating system. It's kind of connected to this, and if you let that spin out of control, it'll also affect your respirations, because your concept of life is changed because the RAS is something different. Spinal cord injuries. Spinal cord injuries. We said that your respiration center is in the medulla oblongata. The medulla oblongata is in the brain. That controls everything. Your nervous system, with the nervous system, they're like the messengers between the environment and your actual brain. So if I affect the spinal cord system or some nerves from my brain going down to my lungs, and those signals to breathe can't reach my lungs to activate the breathing, I'm not gonna breathe, right? Because my brain could be sending a signal all day long down the highway, but if there's a big rig accident across the whole highway, I don't matter how much I send it, it's not crossing, right? Because the nerves are like the highway and the streets, okay? It's all good, you can send packages all you want, but if there's an accident on the street, nothing's getting, I don't care how much you want to send them, if you can see them sending them, nothing's gonna pass by, right? You guys get that? Same concept. All right, keep going. So this, pressure, disruption of pressure. Every time you breathe in, you make your tank bigger, right? That vacuum, you're breathing in, you're making the pressure inside your chest lower than the pressure outside. You're bringing the pressure down. That's kind of what makes that vacuum, all right? Now, if you were to get stabbed, right? Like if you were to get stabbed in the chest, and they take that knife out, every time I create that negative pressure so that the diaphragm goes down, intercostal goes sideways, air is gonna be sucked in through your mouth and or nose hole, right? Well, guess what? If you have a knife hole now, that air is also gonna be sucked in through there. So what you have, like if you have a cut, a hole in your chest, what'll happen is that there's air coming in normal way, but it's also escaping out through that hole and getting around the lung. At the same time, you have air coming in from that hole going around the lung. So what you're doing is you're creating a pocket of air outside the lung, and that's a collapsed lung. And I'll show you a video about that right now. And that is a change in pressure that we don't want, because now we're putting pressure in the chest cavity